This is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. That is Garland. And we are here to discuss This Is Us, Season 6, Episode 3, Four Fathers. What's going on, Garland?
On a Wednesday, cap season is winding down, so just trying to, make do what it do, But I'm feeling great. What about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. You're right. The Aquarius is all talking about, yeah,
Yeah,
it's our
it's
time to shine
Aquarius season.
now. Yeah, my oldest daughter's in Aquarius. She's in February, beginning of February, and she already talking about it's that time. I mean,
Nobody think about y'all.
whatever. Capricorn, we don't even really, we don't really even get into that because we already know. You know what I mean? We got like we got Martin Luther King Jr., we
Right.
got Baby New Year, but we got the ultimate. We got Jesus on our side. Like Jesus is a Capricorn. I mean, like, come, come on. Hey man, aren't we supposed to be getting some more snow tonight?
Yeah, man, this is gonna be like 1 to 2 inches. Might be a trace. I think it's just too warm outside for it to really stick. I mean, unless it's
I hope
going,
I hope so. I'm not.
yeah.
I hate snow. I hate snow.
Yeah.
I'm not a snow person.
Well,
I've always believed people that like snow don't have to shovel it. So I hate
what
snow.
about
I
that fake
hate it.
blizzard we had Sunday? All everybody all hunkered down. Then you got up the next morning, it was like it ain't even snow.
I and you know what? So I waited till later on in the day to kind of shovel the sidewalk, which I ain't even had to shovel. It melted. I ain't even
Hey,
had to touch the cars. It melted off the cars like right away. So I ain't had to do
yeah,
none
I
of that.
brought I brought ice melt for nothing. I'm all like at the store, like, yeah, let me get a couple bag, boom, boom in the back, like, yeah, it's gonna be serious. And woke up that Monday morning, like, did it snow? Did
But
it
it
snow?
ain't for
No.
nothing because eventually you're gonna need it anyway. Because I had to buy a fresh
Yeah,
bag of it. I
yeah.
had some, and I bought a bucket like a year or two ago. So the bucket was getting low. So I went and I got Home Depot. I got the $9 joint and just poured it in there and had some left over. So
There you go.
it worked out well.
There you go.
Hey
Old men, that's
man,
what we
let's
do,
get.
y'all. This is Old Men Chronicles. This is what we do.
Hey man, let's get into this us so we get these people out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last night's episode, Four Fathers, was a look at forefathers on the show, their dilemmas, things that they were dealing with in terms of different points of, things that are going on with children, life, and all those things. And so let's go ahead and just jump into talking about these forefathers. So let's start off with our boy Randall. Of course, we're going to start off with the brother. Now, of course, it's only natural that Randall would freak out upon learning that his teenage daughter, as we saw in that last episode, Deja, secretly took a multi-hour bus ride to visit Malik out of state. Now, but with some help from Beth, he's able to zero in on the extra layer at play here, too. Deja, she joined the Pearson family when she was 12 years old, already on the verge of heading into her teen years. And Randall, he feels some sense of loss that he missed out on her earlier childhood. And from Deja's perspective, however, her sometimes tumultuous childhood with her mom and her even more tumultuous time in foster care system gave her a greater sense of independence than a lot of kids her age. And so, while some teens might have counted their blessings about getting off easy for such a major transgression, Deja refuses to back down when Randall says she won't be allowed to see Malik for a while. So, what did you think about this? How Randall handled this? How Deja handled this? This whole fallout from this. And first of
So
all, before you
Randall,
go there, don't know. I'm sorry, no teen piece on a text message. I'm sorry. I can't even see my daughter phone. They got the extra dark screen. The writing is small. That wasn't realistic. But go ahead, my friend.
well, she made the mistake of hooking it into the car system.
Oh, okay,
So,
so she into the
when
Bluetooth, and the
the
Bluetooth is doing the old
yeah,
stuff.
and the
Hmm.
Bluetooth talk. Now, I don't do hands free. I don't know anyone that does hands free because your text messages will read out. You just never know where you're going to be, and you don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? People don't need to be in your business. So I thought that was a
Right.
little unrealistic. Plus, but she's never driven a car, so maybe she didn't know it would do that. I don't know. But anyway,
Right.
I thought Randall handled it like a father would. Even Beth came down there. I mean, the scene was hilarious. Randall was like, going out, never. Food, maybe. All
Right.
that was hilarious. And
Right.
Beth was had his back and all. But, Beth went in there and realized that she's a woman, you know what I mean? And they talked about it, and she told him she gonna get a birth control. And it's tough, man. It's tough watching your kids grow, especially girls. And I know it's a double standard, but it's just tough
Mhm.
watching these girls become adults. Clearly, Deja is choosing violence at the end of the scene, hollering,
Right.
that's gonna be a problem. Like, whoa, sister. Like, and it
Right.
really ended a little differently than what we're used to with Randall. Randall usually gives his little speech, and you get the little "This Is Us" music and move on, and everything is fine. This one ended on the cliffhanger. She was like, "Nah, partner, this ain't gonna work." That's
Right.
going her words. That's going to be a problem. And kind of like stepped up with her eyes. I was like, whoa. So I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's very realistic. And I'm scared for Deja, man. I'm scared for her.
Yeah, it's funny, Calvin. There always comes a time in the life of parenting when your children just test your mettle. It comes a point where you can, I don't want to say you bully them, but you can pretty much just, hey, this is how it's going to be. And then
Hmm.
there's always this one incident where it's kind of like they have drawn their line in the sand, and it's like, I can't take it no more. I'm not going to take it anymore. We're just going to
Hmm.
have to battle on this. And we've seen this with Deja. That, all right, look, I acquiesced to all this other stuff that you wanted me to do, and I'm trying to communicate more. I'm becoming part of the family, but yeah, we're going to have to draw this line in the sand. And so, usually, it doesn't end up well. It gets kind of bumpy for a little bit, but you know, I like Beth in this instance because she's always the balance for whatever happens in this. Yeah, she joined in with the let's go crazy part at first, but I think as she started thinking like, yeah, I took it as more so she was kind of just like, yeah, I'm feeding into this. Let him go ahead, go his for his run. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make this right. Because yeah, as a woman, as a young woman, or as a teen that's gone through these things, we have to have a little bit grace and little understanding, and all of those particular things. I never forget, my mother finding out stuff about me, or finding things that she didn't know was in her house that was in her house. And us having to go through these things and stuff. And um, eventually you get through it, and you kind of remember like, yeah, I wasn't too far from that. I did have an experience with that, and it wasn't the end of the world. No one died, and we just have to learn how to communicate and move on. And so I want to see what happened with you. I want to see how they're going to butt heads on this, how this going to end up.
It's with the if you remember, it's what our parents used to call she's smelling herself. She's
Yes.
smelling herself
Smelling
right
yourself,
now.
boy.
So
Yeah. He's
yes,
smelling
it's
this
it's
out.
yeah, it's a little rough. And I think you mentioned Beth being the balance, and Beth is definitely the balance. But I also think Beth could focus on what she was angry about. Beth was more angry about the line as opposed to the act.
Right.
Randall tried to act like he was angry about the line, but the line was the after product.
Right.
Randall was angry about the act, them having the sex and the words that he was saying.
Yeah, like
If
this
he would have
big is
heard,
just
I
too big
missed you
without
coming up
you.
here. Yeah, missed you coming up here. We had such a great time. Hopefully you can come back. He probably wouldn't have been as angry, but when he heard that I
Yeah.
miss you in my bed, yeah, man, Randall to the
Oh
moon,
man.
son.
I mean, I'm glad Malik had some tact, because he could have been like, "Yo, I'm glad you let me clap them cheeks."
Listen,
Yo, the way
Malik
that
could
your head was
Malik could have came
fire.
on there. Imagine Malik coming on there hollering, what that mouth do?
Right. Yo. How many times did you bust off, shorty? Like raging waters down there for real. We got to do that again, yo. Yeah, it could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Oh Lord, Randall probably would have pulled that car. Like, what cut she out?
Oh, that Randall, you think Randall was running after he got the house? Randall would have just told her, "You drive home, I'm gonna run home." He'd have just ran from the car. He'd have been like, I'm
It
gonna
would
run
have exploded right there. Yeah, so Deja, your phone in the Bluetooth no more until you get your car. Okay. All right, let's
exactly.
talk about your boy Kevin. And it's funny, I got my daughter. She's now watching This Is Us, and she hates Kevin. She's like, Kevin is the craziest. Kevin is just so entitled. Kevin just wants everything to go his way. And we kind of see that. Now I have to admit, I'm a little confused about Kevin and Madison's current custody arrangement. Now, do the twins live full time with Madison and Kevin just visits them there? Or do they split their time 50-50 between both parents? Plus, whatever happened to the magic nanny that Madison couldn't stop raving about last season? Remember, they had this nanny, and the nanny was so fantastic, and nanny was doing all these different things. And so I guess the nanny, maybe she didn't get her COVID test so she can be in this season. And so the lack of detail makes it hard to tell exactly what Kevin is frustrated about. He's obviously and understandably, kind of bummed out that he won't get the perfect nuclear family of his dreams. Kevin, although Kevin really did not want to get married, deep in his heart, but he does have that example of his dad and this magical family, the 2.5 children, and the picket fence and all of those things. uh but is work keeping him away from his scheduled time with his kids, or is he mad over custody arrangements he feels favors Madison? And so, looking at that storyline, and we didn't see old boy from the book club and their little nerdy book guy, so we don't know if he's still around. Yeah, yeah, like I'll help wash the dishes. We didn't see him this week. So, what do you think about Kev and what's going on with him and Madison and the kids?
Well, you said it, and we've talked about this before. Kevin wants to be Jack. Kevin has no other desire but to be his father.
Right.
Um, and you can also see, it's real interesting how and I almost agree with your daughter. Kevin is definitely privileged. He's always been the privileged one in the family, for whatever reason, whether it's justified or not. He was an athlete, he was an actor. He's
Right.
always been the privileged one. But it's so funny to watch his dynamic. Someone that has it all, and he even admitted it. I can afford to buy anything I want, but I'm living in this garage. Now I'm staying at my sister's house. It's so funny to watch Kevin, how he moves. He's looking at Toby and Kate, and he's jealous of the relationship that even Toby has with the kids. Kevin is one that, as much as he has, it feels like for him, he doesn't have what he really wants. You're right. He didn't want to get married, but he was going to get married for the family. So
Mhm.
now they made the arrangement where he could stay in the garage, he can come see the kids, but that's not enough for him. Kevin just wants to be Jack. He wants to have what his father had, and he wants to be that type of father. And I don't think Kevin is able to adjust to life of anything else, which real life, just like Madison told him, there are going to be times where neither one of us are going to be at certain things. And he's just self centered, like, oh, so you just mean me. And she's like, well, basically, no, but if you have them and there's something that happens, I'm not going to see it. Kevin hasn't adjusted to that. It seems like he wants Madison, but he doesn't want her. He just wants to be with the kids 24/7. And that's not going to be possible.
Right. Yeah, it just comes off. He's got to have it his way. It's always Kevin. Kevin has to win in the end. And it's unfortunate that Kevin didn't get to see what's going to happen at the end this season, because he's jealous of Kate and Toby. But Kate and Toby don't end up together. And so let's go ahead and segue into your boy Toby. Now, the Toby and Kate storyline is a empathetic way to explore the story of a couple doing their best in a difficult situation. We know that Toby took the job in San Francisco. He's commuting there. He's there several days a week, and then he's home the other couple days a week. And so it's a great example of the benefit the show gets from its time hopping premise. In any other season, this would have just been another annoying Toby and Kate riff that's too easily healed. But now that we know that their marriage won't last, however, there's an interesting tension to seeing them trying to navigate their relationship stresses in the present. And so also we get an introduction to the smoker. Now, if you kind of know what's going to happen in the future, we know that baby Jack is going to be blind and it's going to be an accident involving the smoker that Toby buys to bring the family together. And so we saw him on the grill, grilling up and stuff. I'm like, yo, what you Stevie Wonder? You on the grill? You about to drive? You blind? So what you think about Toby and Kate? And we since we already kind of know what's going to happen, but this particular thing of him really trying to be the best dad that he can, but he's missing.
So, and this is even going to go into Jack a little bit. This show last night had a little bit of reverse sexism, if we could call it that.
Okay,
I
I want
mean,
to hear this.
so of course we have Randall being the hothead dad, which is typical when it comes to his daughter. But
Mhm.
Kevin, now Toby, they're making these dads look, and then when we get to Jack, they're making these dads look like they're kind of incompetent and they can't operate without the mom. It's mom that
Mhm.
has all the answers and that knows everything. And it's not always that way.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to Toby and Kate, the one thing that I don't think, and see, it's not Kate. It's one thing that I don't think Toby gives himself enough credit for is, Toby at one point had no job. They didn't know how they were going to make ends meet. He was kind of lost, trying to search for himself. Remember, Toby was in the gym. He was confiding in another woman.
Right.
Toby's come a long way to be a good husband and a good dad and also a good provider. And he's not giving himself enough credit for that. Toby is just focused on, I'm not here with them and I'm not here with them. And I understand that those early years are the years that you need to be there and all, but you also need to lay a foundation for your family's future. And that's what he's doing now. While you're out, you're gonna have to look for another job, something that's going to keep you home more if that's what you want to do. But stop slighting yourself. And I think Toby is really slighting himself, and it's kind of coming off when he gets home like, I'm going to do it my way, and that's causing that little rift. And it's right now it's ever so slight, but it's that little rift between him and his wife, and it's we know it's going to affect him later, but you can see it building up.
Yeah, he tried to be slick. Like, yeah, I was a stay-home dad. I know how to do this. He came real slick out of his mouth with that one and
He
stuff.
really
And
did.
yeah, he did. Like, yo, like I know what I'm doing. So, don't basically, I've done this.
But they didn't have to write that in. They ain't had to
Right.
write that in like that. They
Yeah, yeah.
exposing him.
Yeah. He got sick, and that's gonna push it to the little Brit guy, So we're gonna see what happens with that, and let's end up with your boy Jack. And so, uh, it always starts off with the flashback, and so Jack, he's missing out on time with the big three, and so he decides that he wants to take them to the movie, and so Rebecca's kind of like, yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to go since this your idea. You make it happen, and of course he goes, and of course who walks away? Who leaves? But Kevin, crazy ass Kevin. So Kevin leaves, and in the middle of the movie, and they got to go find him, and uh, luckily, he has his phone number written inside his shoe. And they're able to locate him only on TV, because you would have got a beating for that. If your mother had to
What?
leave that move, what she would have killed you up in that
What?
office. Yeah, come on, man. So he got off scot free. Like, oh, come on, boy, don't do that anymore. And Randall just eating his popcorn. Like, oh, Captain, oh, he left. Like, you ain't gonna stop this because I'm watching this American Tale right now. So you ain't gonna stop this. And so, what do you think about this Jack? Jack, and we find out that Jack mom, she passes away, and so Jack, that's going to be the next episode that Jack's going to have to deal with this. So Jack always got some drama.
Ain't he dead though? I just any
And
so
yeah,
anyway.
he still keeps drama. It's like, why you dead, but we still dealing with your storyline. Come on, man.
Like I've been saying, why would you kill him if we got to see him every week? Like every week we gotta see him. There's no need to
Right,
kill him.
right. Oh my
He could have
god.
just been their grandfather. Um, so first of all, shout out to the movie theater where you can get 3 small popcorns, 3 boxes of raisinets, and a coffee for $8.
Come.
Even back then, that is
Right,
that's 40s and 50s
right.
prices. That's not 70s and 80s
I,
prices. It's
I don't
still
think my
expensive.
I don't think my mother ever paid for popcorn and soda because it was all in her purse. And so
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Fun fact. I took me, my mother, the kids, my wife. We all went to see Us when it came out,
uh-huh.
and my mother packed sandwiches and chips for everybody. Nobody knew. We sat down and she just started handing them.
Right.
But yeah, man. So and then not only does Kevin walk out, but Kevin gets rewarded with Sunday with some
Right.
ice cream.
Nah,
Like
yo.
whatever. But so back to the main point, which is Jack again trying to show him some incompetence, not giving himself enough credit, and I know they all want to be there for the younger years, but you also got to eat. You got to have a roof over your house. Now, credit to the women not at no point did they say, oh, well, you need to be here more, you need to help me out. They've never said any of that. It's just the men feeling, I guess, a little unsettled in themselves when it comes to the kids. But we know how it works out for Jack, and hopefully, and we know how it works out for Toby, but we'll see how it works out for our guy Kevin.
One of
Mister,
our one
this
of our
movie's this movie's dumb.
right. One of our faithful watchers, Katina Coach, she says that Kate and Randall were wrong for not waking Jack up. And you scared. You ain't think about that. You scared to wake up your people. You got
They
your
were, but
popcorn, you watching a movie, you ain't paying attention.
they were kids. They were into the movies. So
Right.
but this is what I don't understand because this is what kids do. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, you're not supposed to leave Jack. That's what kids are supposed to do. And then is Jack short or something? Because when I fall asleep in the movie, I kind of stretch across, so you got to say excuse me to get by my legs, and he just
Right.
walked right by him. He ain't even,
Yeah.
I just yeah.
But only kids that would tattletale is when you used to get a beating when one person got in trouble, everybody got in trouble. And so if somebody broke a rule in the house, everybody broke the rule in the house. So yeah, you would be scared under those circumstances of, yo, where you going, what you doing? But hey, it's TV.
Kids would have been yelling. They just wouldn't have let him go like that, or they would have been like, "Well, I'm going too. Well,
Right.
I'm going too."
I would have told because I don't want to get in trouble too. Because that's what's going on. Why you let him go? Like, you asleep. What? Why is
I
it my
I
fault?
would I would have told. I'd be like, "I'm gonna tell Daddy that Kevin leaving.
Right. Right. Give me his popcorn. Give me his ice cream later. Cause
Give me them
I'm
raisinets. I know. Yeah,
right.
I'm
I'm a
tell them
rat out.
raisinets."
So man, what's your overall thoughts of the episode?
It was a little for me. It was a little boring. It was interesting, other than the Randall and Deja.
Hmm.
It was a little boring. I thought it
Yeah, it
was
was a
boring,
little
but
slow. It was a little slow.
we needed the episode to kind of definitely for Kate and Toby. We needed the episode to kind of build up to what's happening with them, and of course,
Mhm.
something is going to come about with Kevin. And we always see Jack, so I mean, it's whatever. It's
That
whatever with
guy.
Jack.
That guy. All right. Got any closing thoughts? As a matter of fact, you went first last week. Let me go first this week.
Okay.
All right. I'm sure some of you have probably seen over the last several days this video of this pastor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His name is Mike Todd. And Mike Todd is the pastor of the Transformation Church. And this was a church. If you black and you're in church, you would kind of know this church because this is the church that this man Colton Pearson used to pastor, and he was put out of the church because he wasn't practicing. He believed something that the church didn't believe. It's a movie on Netflix about it if you want to get some background about it. But this guy Mike Todd, he was given this illustration in a sermon, and he decided to spit in his hand, and he like kind of like loogie hawk spit, spit in his hand twice.
I thought it was
Then
3 times.
it might have been three. Then he rubbed it on the eyes of his brother. This man, the person who he rubbed it on was his brother. Um, if you know your Bible, I think he was trying to illustrate a story from John 9 where Jesus encounters a blind man and he asked the blind man, what can I do for you? Blind man said, I can't see. Jesus spit on the ground and he made like a clay and he put it on this person's eyes, told him to go wash in the pool, wash it off. And when he washed it off, he had his sight. Um, Man, we have to watch what people are doing and saying and teaching. That's why, I'm gonna give you a little Bible lesson today from the deacon. The Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God, so that you can rightly divide the word. You can divide truth from fiction. And you're able to use that to be your guide. A lot of people don't know the word. And those who don't probably saw that and they probably didn't know what to think. Like, wow, in COVID, we're spitting on people now. But those people who are in the word know that that was so not God. It was I got a text from somebody I know that's not a believer, and they were like, "Is this what y'all do?" And it's like, wow, like how do you explain that? When your illustration, and my pastor said it best, when your illustration becomes bigger than the point that you're trying to show or make, then it's not good. And maybe he had some good intention of showing that, to get your miracle, you got to stretch out and do some different things. But to spit in your hand several times in COVID, just period, even if we didn't have COVID, I don't care if we never had COVID in life, just to spit into your hand and to take that and to rub it on somebody's face has no spirit. There's no God in that. That's all for show. And so, people, please don't fall for these things. Don't go for these things. These ear tickling type of sensationalism, bastardization of the Bible type of things. And kind of remind me, I guess probably Jamal Bryant is probably thinking like, damn, he beat me to the punch. And so you gotta watch out for these things. Sorry, Jamal.
Jamal, you know what? I'm not even gonna do it. Not even gonna do it. Not even gonna go there with
It's with chick. Jamal would have been a woman, so it's something with a woman.
you.
He would have came up with something for a woman. But yeah, Jamal,
It
I
might have
doubt
been.
Jamal gonna spit on
It might
somebody.
have been some spitting going on with Jamal. Whatever. And
Yeah,
so
we're not gonna
anyway,
be right.
anyway, yeah, real quick. So, we had Super Wild Card weekend. A lot of teams, a lot of football teams were
Okay.
eliminated, and the one thing that we like to see are teams losing. We like to see the fans and how the fans react. Stephen A. Smith was all over ESPN laughing at Cowboy fans who were crying.
Right.
But the one thing that I've noticed, and they only show Cowboy fans doing this, and I'm sure other fans did it, Cowboy fans were literally punching and breaking their television sets,
I saw that.
knocking them off the walls. Now, I'm Ravens.
All day.
Disappointing that we didn't make the playoff. I'm a bigger fan of sports as anyone. Anyone. I will yell and scream and lose my breath and spend the money, but
Mm-mm.
they're not going to reimburse me if I destroy my own property. I don't understand why people are destroying their own property over a game that's played by millionaires who, at the end of the day, will go home to their property
Right.
that's unharmed. They're not going to break their property up. Why are you destroying your own property over a football game? Over a football game. Maybe if you bet $1 million and lost $1 million, I could see it.
Sure.
Maybe if your life or your family's life was on the line, I could see it. But to
Maybe.
just be angry because your team didn't advance to the next round, I, I don't. I'm not. I'm not getting it. Do better, people. Do better. Get something else because clearly you're too into this. Get another hobby. Get something else to concentrate on. Because when you start destroying your own property over things that you can't control, there's something wrong with you. Something wrong in your head. Now you gotta go out and pay some money. And Black Friday ain't coming back around until November. So now you gotta wait for the Black Friday sale at Walmart. You gotta wait. Because you're not, it's just ridiculous, man. Just
Yeah, Calvin.
ridiculous.
I just never understood. I never understand that. Why destroy your own? It's just a it's funny. It's just a game. It is. It,
It's
it
just a
is
game.
just a game. They're gonna
For
play again next year,
exactly.
and it's just a
For
game.
us, for us, it's just a game. For the players, they're getting paid for it. That's their livelihood. I can see them destroying stuff. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? They could lose money, lose a contract. But for us, it's
I can
just a
see
game.
Jerry Jones tearing up the owner suite. Okay,
E-
yeah, Jerry, you own the team. Yeah, Jerry,
Exactly.
be mad. But
Exactly.
yo,
But it's just a game for us.
yeah, it's just a game. Come slow. Yeah, come on, calm down, y'all.
Take it easy. But anyway, that is it for this evening. We thank you all for joining us. We will be back next Wednesday when we discuss season 6, episode 4 of This Is Us. So until then, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. That's Garland. And we will see you all next week.
Next week.
Later, y'all. All right,
Peace.
Garland. Have
All
a
right,
good
talk
one.
to you, Cal.